It was police that dropped Fame. They knew about some cops being dirty, and they got scared of him talking, so they snatched him up and put him down.
I was hoping you could reach out to the NYPD connects. See if they know anything about my friend Famous being took out.
Who told you we got a line to the NYPD?
I saw y'all talking to the police before. Ain't no way they did that without a call from the streets. I just want to know who made that call.
I hit up Pickett and Wild careless. We had you handle the little nigga because we were concerned that some of the shit he was saying could track back to us.
And question is asking around about who would have given you the order.
You're talking about the Stark kid. We could find out what he knows.
You gotta go, Chris. Him is dead. O-cee's gone. I can't keep you safe.
Miss Bradley, we need you to come with us.
Famous? What the hell I know about what happened to Famous?
That's what we need to find out.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. We're here with season 4, episode 8 of Raising Kanan. And I ain't gonna lie, this episode was pretty damn good, and I got absolutely nothing right. Well, I did get a few things right, but this episode has so much going on. I want you guys to comment down below how many people died within this episode. I feel like bodies was just dropping and piling up, but we got so many new clues and reveals and a lot to look forward to for the rest of the season. So I highly suggest you guys subscribe, stay tuned for the weekend. We're gonna break down the episode 9 preview, but first we got to break down this episode as a whole. So of course we got the big reveal that it was Snaps and Pops who took down Fame. A lot of you guys predicted that. We're going to talk about that first in this video. We got to talk about the death of O-cee. Unique, crazy. The way he took him out was insane. Like, he's losing his mind. And I also got to talk about our boy Lou getting back into the field, him catching bodies, protecting his artist B-Rilla, how that's going to play out going forward. And then last but not least, of course, Marvin. That dude is trying to make up for all these mistakes he's been having going on this entire season, and it looks like it's just gonna all crumble and fall apart by the end of this season. Relationship with Rock, Stefano, it's all crumbling to pieces right about now. So as usual though, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this episode and your final predictions for the last two. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting with Snaps and Pops revealing to have been the ones to take out Fame. Now, to be real, when we always making our theories, a lot of you guys in the comments was saying Snaps and Pop, Snap and Pop. And to be real, when I was making my videos, I kept ruling out everyone. I was like, it don't make sense for it to be Rock. People were saying Jukebox. I'm like, that don't make sense. People saying Howard and Ronnie. I said that makes absolutely no sense because they were already dead when he was in police custody. People were saying Unique, which is obviously was still a possibility, but I was making the point that we were seeing every step of Unique's plan of him attacking the Chinese spot, him robbing Kanan and using O-cee for information, him going to Quan. We saw all those steps. So I was saying, like, we would have seen if he took out Fame. I feel like that was something they could have or would have shown us. So I was ruling out a lot of people, but I still didn't say Snap and Pop because, like, I don't know, I just thought that'd be anticlimactic, seeing as they never had a conversation with him and it would feel like it came out of nowhere, and it still kind of did. And the interesting part about it is, the only reason I'm still interested is because how all this is going to turn back on Rock, and I'll explain that a little later. But to break down the summary of the Snap and Pop situation, Kanan of course heard from Freddy's crew that it was possibly the police who took down Fame. So then of course we know when he was looking around for O-cee, he saw Rock handing the police money. So he started getting the idea that, oh, Rock could have possibly had something to do with it. And we saw he let both Krystal and Jukebox know this information. And that's obviously because we know he knows that she did this to D-Wiz before. Why wouldn't she take out another one of his friends? So previously, and you guys said this down below in my comments, a few of you talked about how in season 4 episode 3 he saw Snap and Pop talking to the police officers. Now this wasn't the same ones who apparently did it within this episode, but a lot of you guys pointed out their connections with the police and them having something to do with it. So he decided that since they had connections, he was going to go to them, ask them if they could give him some information on who made the call on Fame. And of course, once he left, they revealed right then and there that they did it themselves. They did it because they wanted to make sure he couldn't give no information on them, which makes him being tortured and all that make a lot more sense. Now, the interesting thing is the picture we all seen thinking this was possibly Fame, someone taking him out, actually wasn't him. This was somebody Marvin killed within this episode, and that kind of pisses me off because it kind of makes me think that we won't see a Famous death flashback then, which is kind of trash to be honest. But his actor did say, "I was shot."
I can't tell you why. I got shot. I'll tell you that much. My character got shot. And was killed by being shot.
He said, "I was shy." So like, are they gonna show that? Are they ever gonna reveal exactly what went down? Because the way they kind of revealed it was kind of corny to me. I'm happy we finally got an answer, but I feel like they could have did more with his death. But nonetheless, only reason I'm still interested, once again, like I said earlier, is because how all this could fall back on Rock. We know Kanan is currently blaming Rock for everything. We even saw Krystal within this episode tell him that she has done so much to him in the past. I even said that in prior videos that he just puts the blame on her for everything. Now, to be fair to him, the signs were there, but it's about to get even worse now that Snap and Pop, they have basically kidnapped Krystal. We talked about the episode 9 description, talks about Krystal's disappearance, and once again Kanan suspecting Rock's involvement with that situation. Snap, Pop, they talked to the police officer that took down Fame, told them they need to cover their tracks, find out what Kanan know, and they decided within this episode to go and take Krystal. Now obviously with the episode 9 preview, we're gonna break that down more this weekend. We could see that she is still alive, but they're putting all their cards on the table, basically getting Kanan to turn against Rock at every which way. And once again, because of everything Rock has done, Kanan is just unfortunately gonna believe that she had a hand in all this, which is also interesting because Jukebox is starting to lean towards that as well. We saw Jukebox talking to Rock within this episode after Kanan already told her he thinks she had something to do with Famous's death, and she asked Rock about Joyce and how she died, and Rock kind of lied and said, well, she was already sick, she just passed away. And Jukebox kind of sensed that she wasn't telling 100% of the truth. So when she asked Jukebox what they know about Fame's death, what's Kanan saying and everything like that, Jukebox decided, I won't tell you the truth then. So even she's starting to lean on the possibility that Rock could have had a hand in this, and this isn't looking good at the time that the Thomas family need to be together more than ever. Everything's completely falling apart. We're going to explain more of that when we get to the Marvin situation, but that's the reveal of what happened to Famous. Now on to the death of O-cee. We'll try to run through this quick because that's how fast his death was, honestly. So to quickly recap everything, we know earlier this season, Unique went to rob Kanan's stash house and he left O-cee alive, which we all were surprised by, and we come to find out it was because O-cee was feeding him information, letting him know that that Rock was on the outs with Quan, so Unique was able to talk to Quan, get back in business with him, and B, that Kanan was skimming money off the top and hiding it. So then with that information, we know O-cee went and followed Kanan to where he was keeping the money, and then he of course let Unique know that information. Now we didn't know that part yet. A lot of people suspected that he took the money, left town himself and everything like that, but I said that Unique was possibly going to need this money for the Phil Russo situation to pay for the men that he's using in New Jersey as his soldiers. I talked about how he was going to need the money for that situation. A lot of people said that money didn't really matter, but I said O-cee wouldn't just take it. I don't know. I feel like if he just took it and left, that would be like a plot hole. Like we got to see some sort of resolution with his character, and of course we got that. When the money ended up going missing, Kanan was searching for O-cee, couldn't find him, when asked his partners, and then finally within this episode we seen Jukebox go to O-cee house, got into a little situation with his brother. He was on some weird stuff. She pistol whipped him right quick, and he said he didn't see O-cee in a week. He left. We finally do get to see O-cee within this episode. He's talking to Unique, letting him know that, hey, I need to get out of town, I need some money, I think Kanan knows, everything like that. And Unique is losing his mind. He's already pissed off. He legitimately just pulls out a gun and shoots O-cee in the head, then shoots him like 5, 6, 7 more times. I don't even know. but he just lays him flat and tells them to clean up the mess. Later in the episode, O-cee's body ends up being found in a dumpster, and it is revealed, everyone comes to find out that he is dead. Now, of course, once again, as I mentioned earlier, Unique took the money. They don't know who did it just yet, but in the next episode, Unique and Kanan are gonna meet. Well, I don't know if he's gonna reveal that, but we've all been waiting for them to talk or have a conversation. It's crazy they haven't had one, and we're 4 seasons in, but that's something that's gonna be interesting to see. But O-cee, he's out the picture. I thought Jukebox was gonna be the one to take him out. The way Unique just did it so suddenly and shockingly was crazy. But yeah, that's the summary of what happened to O-cee. On to our boy Lou, back getting his hands dirty, something we've been expecting over the course of this entire season so far. Once again, to quickly recap how he got in this situation, we know he has his artist B-Rilla, who he got out of jail earlier this season, told him he was gonna start making some music. And B-Rilla, though he's broke, he needed some money. We know earlier in the season he was staying with Lou, and he was like, once the music get popping, everything good. But our boy needed some money immediately, basically, because he has a baby mama, a kid, and he wants to take care of them as soon as possible. And Lou kind of was questioning him about his music, about trying new things, seeing if this could work, and this kind of caused them to bump heads at a point. And with this happening, he decides to go back to the streets and try to hit a lick. And the person they try to hit a lick on is the owner of the record label, because earlier in this season as well, the owner of the record label told him that he keeps all his money in cash in his house. So he decided to go talk to some people, set up this hit, and rob the owner of the record label, not knowing that the owner of the record label is renting out his house to other people when he's not staying there. So when him and the group pull up to the house, he says he has to stay in the van because, you know, if they recognize him, then they'll get caught, whatever. So he stay in the van, and he see them bust some shots. They end up killing the 2 people that's renting out the house, and he thought they killed, once again, the owner of the record label. But he ends up showing up to the studio with Lou and B-Rilla there, and he's shocked, surprised, whatever. Now, going into this episode, the niggas he went on a mission with him decide they want to do it again. They want to hit the real house this time, even though they almost just got caught up, that they just killed 2 people, that they're gonna know that now that it's so closely connected that this is the second time the record label person is involved in something like this. They're gonna know he was targeted. That's gonna let them know that B-Rilla or Lou or people within the label had something to do with it. But these dudes are ignorant. They just want to make some money. They just don't care. So they basically tell B-Rilla that you don't have no choice. You either end this with us or we gonna kill you, basically, to put it shortly. That's what they told him. So he ends up telling Lou everything that went down, getting Lou in the situation, and Lou goes to talk to the people and be like, hey, yeah, let's not do this, whatever. And they start talking shit to my nigga Lou. This is Lou Thomas we talking about how they would have feared him, who he was in the past, how he's a whole different person, and basically saying that they're gonna put him down. And Lou, he peeps all the signs and lets B-Rilla know that, hey, they're gonna be coming for us. So these 2 guys are waiting outside the studio for them literally the entire day. How you want to make paper so bad, but you're spending your whole entire day waiting for 2 niggas to come out the studio? You don't care about paper that much, apparently. And if you wanted to rob the house, why would you decide to kill B-Rilla? It doesn't make no sense. But B-Rilla and Lou was on point already, so they made these niggas wait outside the studio for 12 damn hours. And B-Rilla finally comes out playing possum wide out in the open for them to take him out, and they say, okay, he's waiting for Lou, let's give it a second. Lou comes from around the back and smokes both of them through the car, and we finally see Lou is back. And it's funny because when the other guy gets out the car and Lou stands over and kills him, bro, the smile on his face, this dude never been so happy killing somebody. Like, this dude is back. He's back in this shit. And it's funny because we know the episode 10 description talks about Lou and Rock specifically preparing to go to war with Unique and not Marvin. And everybody was wondering why not Marvin. We know he's been making a lot of mistakes. We're about to get to him next. But now that Lou is back catching bodies, I think we could see why. He's good at this shit. This is what he's made for. He's part of the Thomas family. I'm just glad my dog out back in the game. I do believe this means he won't make it out again this time. We've seen it with people like Ghost. You keep 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Eventually that 1 foot in pulls you all the way in, and your past is always going to come back against you. Last but not least, Marvin. Where do we start? Well, I guess first off, they killed Quan at the beginning of this episode, and that they did that with no setup. They just like, hey, it's time to strike back at Unique, take out Quan. So they rob him, take him out, try to make sure the shit don't fall back on him. Of course, Unique believes it's Rock. He already think everything is Rock, even though this was her. But they take out Quan, so Unique has no connect. This causes him to go to Snap and Pop later in this episode, and they talk about brokering a deal between Stefano and Phil Russo. We'll talk about that more tomorrow as well when we talk about Unique, Kane, and everything like that in the episode 9 preview. But the main thing with Marvin within this episode is his deal with Stefano coming back to bite him in the ass. Once again, another recap so I can explain how we got where we are now. We know earlier this season, Marvin and Stefano was making deals, and Stefano told him go talk to this bookie out in Corona who's been skimming and taking money, but told him, hey, don't take him out. Marvin took him out anyway, and he needed to get somebody to fill that role. So he got, of course, Early, who works at the shop and everything like that. And I thought this was gonna bite him in the ass because we know Early is working with Unique. Now it still possibly can. I'm gonna get to that a little later. But he put Early in that position with Stefano, and Stefano told him earlier this season, if anything goes wrong, it falls back on you. Now we saw a couple episodes ago, Early comes to him and says, hey, he's having a problem with this guy paying him, and Marvin's like, he don't care, you deal with this yourself. And Early did. He basically killed the dude, and we saw Stefano question Marvin about this initially when he was talking about taking Rock spot and putting Marvin in that place. He said somebody got fished out a river or something like that, and Marvin finally questions Early about it within this episode. Early like, yeah, I did it, you basically gave me the green light. And he told him the person he did it with. All this is crumbling down on Marvin at once. He tells Rock about how him and Stefano's relationship might fall apart due to this problem arising, basically. And he says he's gonna fix it. We see him have another conversation with Stefano, and Stefano starts questioning him about it and says when the truth comes out, whoever has the hand in it, basically they're gonna die. So Marvin, hearing this from Stefano, decides that, okay, I could let Early live, but the nigga he did it with, he said he gotta kill him. Basically, he gotta take him out, and that's what he did. He ends up shooting and killing him. This is the person everyone thought was the scene that we're gonna see a famous flashback, whatever. But now that this has happened, I believe this is Early's cousin. If that is true, I thought the thing that was gonna bite Marvin in the ass was the fact that Early was working closely with Unique, and that was gonna come full circle. Now that is very much possible if this is his cousin, like they said in the episode, or maybe I just made that up, but he was close with this person. Marvin killed them, and now Early is working with Unique. Once again, also Early knows the truth, could tell Stefano. All this is basically gonna fall back upon Marvin. And once again, the episode 9 description talks about Rock having to deal with Unique's retaliation and Marvin's mistake. He's made so many, they're all stacking and piling on one another. I thought he was gonna end up taking out Stefano, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. This is gonna cause a wedge between the Thomas family. I mentioned early in the video they need to be together more than ever, but it seems like they're so separated. We hear in the episode 9 preview that Stefano is telling Rock that Marvin approached him about taking her spot, when we know Stefano tried to tell Marvin to take the spot, and Marvin declined it. With Marvin doing all this, making all these mistakes, him and Rock getting into a fight within this episode, it's just not looking good for that relationship going forward. I think that's another reason it says Lou and Rock is preparing for this war with Unique. They're not going to be able to trust Marvin with all the decisions he's been making lately. We're just gonna have to wait and see how all this continues to play out though. Overall, that's it for this video. This is probably one of my longest recaps for a specific episode, and that's because I had to explain a lot of what took place this season leading up to all these moments, especially because of the break. I know a lot of people forgot, and I wanted to point out how all the clues, details, and everything we got so far has connected so well. So I explained every single plot point basically, but once again, we got a lot to look forward to in these last 2 episodes. Like, they're gonna be crazy. Once again, I want to hear your death predictions down below. So many people died within this episode, not that many people left to die, to be honest, or at least that's how I felt. I told you guys comment how many kills there were. I was supposed to go back and count, but I forgot. So let me know down below in the comments. Let me know your death predictions for the rest of the season and how you see things turning out. The episode 9 preview looks good as hell, I'm not gonna lie. With Unique and Kanan finally meeting, we gotta talk about Krystal, them keeping her captive, how that's gonna go, Jukebox, her next moves, and this might be the best season of Raising Kanan so far, I can't lie. As usual though, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.